February 2nd, 2011 has become a very important date in my life. It's not a date that a child was born. It's not the date I met my wife or I married my wife. It's actually the date that I won my 25-year battle trying to quit smoking. It's become an important part of my life. Today I'm going to spend a few minutes describing parts of my life that are important to me. Quitting smoking is one that's right on top of my list. So, my name is Rod Howard, and I've lived in southeast Missouri for the past 10 years. Prior to that, I lived in Chicagoland. Moving to Missouri is part of my story today. I'd like to talk about three areas of my life that I think describe a bit of myself. The first one being that I have a loving wife and family. Secondly, I love anything to do with the outdoors. And third, my love of the outdoors is actually what brought me to southeast Missouri. As I said, I do have a loving wife and family. My wife Elaine and I met in 1996 and were married a few years later. So on March 20th of this coming month, we'll celebrate our 15th anniversary together. She's my best friend, and I love her dearly. We don't have any children together, but we do have two dogs. We have a little pug named Kazoo, who's not so little, and a Boston Terrier named Smoochie, who are quite the little characters. I'm the youngest of three kids in my family. I have an older brother, Chuck, and an older sister, Cindy. Together with my wife, who has two sisters, we have 16 nieces and nephews who are quite fun to be around. They love coming to southeast Missouri to hang out with Uncle Rod, and Uncle Rod loves taking them out on the boat and dragging them around in the inner tube, or teaching them how to ski, or teaching them how to wakeboard, or anything that has to do with the outdoors. Because my second point is that I love anything to do with the outdoors. I especially love anything to do with water. As a child, I was a competitive swimmer. My favorite activities are water skiing, tubing, anything to do with the water, fishing. As I said earlier, I quit smoking in 2011, and that has opened up just a wide range of outdoor things for me to do. I love cardio activities. Anything I can do now to improve my lung capacity is what I strive for. I run about 6 days a week. 3 miles a day is kind of my minimum. I ran a little over 3 today. And running kind of got me interested in other things. So there turned out to be an event around here in 2012 called the Tough Mudder, which I was able to complete my first one in 2012. And a Tough Mudder is a 10 to 12 mile run out in the mud with 20 to 22 military-style obstacles. So it's kind of fun. It's all for a great cause. It's for the Wounded Warrior Project. So if you can kind of imagine like jumping in a vat of ice and going underwater to get out of it, or low crawling through the mud with electrical wires hitting you in the back, or traversing a mud pit with 20 to 25 monkey bar runs. So it is quite fun, although it sounds a little messy. But my whole life is not getting to play in the mud. I do have a job to do as well, which brings me to my third point, is that my love of the outdoors actually brought me to southeast Missouri. In 2004, my wife and I were living in Chicago, and we decided that we wanted to spend more time together and spend more time outdoors, so we actually bought a resort and marina in southeast Missouri in 2004 and moved down here to run that. Running a resort, you're living in an outdoor paradise. It's settled in the Mark Twain National Forest, right on the shores of Lake Wapapello. So it's just truly is a beautiful outdoor scene. So every day I get to wake up to a beautiful view of the lake, and I just can't wait to get out there. And then reality sets in that I'm actually working, and all my guests are going to get to go play. But the resort is really nice. You know, we run a campground and we rent cabins. We have a store that sells sundries and just basic supplies. I have a marina where I rent boats, and I rent boat slips and sell gas and things of that sort. The nice thing about running this kind of business is that all my customers share my love of the outdoors, and we do have a lot in common, and it's kind of fun. My dogs even play a big part in that business there. We call them our little campground host, as they go around from campsite to cabin and just hang out and entertain all our guests. In closing, I'd like to thank you all for spending a few minutes with me. I hope you come away knowing three things about me. First, that I have a loving wife and family. Secondly, I love the outdoors and anything to do with it. And third, how that love of the outdoors brought me to Southeast Missouri. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.